Oh, there you are, YouTube. Do. Subscribe if you're interested, but also no pressure. Alrighty, October 13, 10/13, very important day here in this house. What do we got?
Why is it a very important day?
It's Mulder's birthday. Shocker! Oh my goodness, that's funny. Shocker, because Mitch Pileggi is in this, who's also in X-Files, and today's 10/13, which is Mulder's birthday. Very cool.
Happy birthday to you.
Go ahead and put it back.
Oh, that's right.
I've never seen Shocker, none of us have. This will be a first time watch for us. Okay, so Shocker, 1989 movie. This is one that I did not know existed until my wife and I attended this X-Files festival. And this person that was behind us in line for a couple of the people meet and greets that we were doing when we were meeting Mitch Pileggi, he had a Shocker poster to have Mitch Pileggi sign, because Mitch Pileggi's in this movie. And so that, I think that was the first time I ever heard of that movie. And so I kind of kept that in my mind, and this was one that I wanted to watch for a while. And yeah, finally got to it today, and how serendipitous is it that it was plucked from our calendar on 10/13. Couldn't have been more perfect. That was very awesome. Also, at that X-Files festival, that's where I met AJ Reacts 2, AJ. So, and he kind of got me into YouTube, so I have him to thank for that. That X-Files festival had a big impact on my life through meeting him. But yeah, so yeah, we had the chance to meet Mitch Pileggi. He was awesome. My wife got a picture with him. She's the big X-Files fan. I tag along and really enjoy the show, but she's like, she knows it all. She loves it. She breathes it and drinks it in. It's her passion. So it was kind of funny for her to watch this movie because when she thinks of Mitch Pileggi, she really thinks of him as Skinner, and and that's kind of it, right? That's her main focus. So if she's seeing Mitch Pileggi, she's thinking Skinner. So it was kind of funny for her to see him in this type of role. But anyway, oh yeah, and when we met him, he was just so kind. She got her picture taken and everything with him, and he was absolutely great. He was wonderful. But anyway, this movie that he's in is really interesting. Peter Berg is in it also. For some reason I always liked him. You know, maybe from Fire in the Sky or Alive, or well, my wife introduced me to Friday Night Lights, and he you know, had the television show and produced that, and he's in some episodes. So I don't know, I've just always been a fan of him, so it was cool to see him in this so young. That was cool. This is Wes Craven directed and written, and I wonder if he was maybe trying to create like a new franchise or something like that, because it does have some like Freddy vibes to it. Like I can imagine Shocker having more than one movie. You know, he's the bad guy or whatever, and I can, like, he has an iconic look to him, and I think as more movies went along, they could make him look maybe a little bit more iconic. And his iconic look would be like him in like a prison jumpsuit sort of thing with like checkers on it, and then he was killed in an electric chair, so he's like all burned up top here. I think they, you know, as more movies went on, maybe they could have played around with that a little bit more and made it a little more obvious that it was like a, you know, he had like a bowl on his head that electrocuted him. And he had a really cool look when he was like traveling through electricity and stuff like this. Because, and maybe this is something I wish the movie would have tackled a little bit more, but he was like, I don't know, worshipped some electric being that allowed him to, after he was electrocuted, to sift in and out of electrical sockets and move from person to person, like possess people by touching them through electricity and stuff. It was very weird. It's kind of like a Jason Goes to Hell in a way, transfers his consciousness into different bodies. But his consciousness or whatever, when he's roaming around looking for bodies and stuff, it has a really interesting look to it. He looks kind of glitchy and stuff like that, which is cool and also really iconic. And I'd love to see if they would have kept making these movies as time went on. How would that glitchiness look? As movie technology got better and better, how would they adjust that? I think that would have been cool to see. But yeah, he's a slasher serial killer type dude, and finally gets caught, and then they electrocute him. But then this like supernatural act happens. But I would have loved to have known more about this like electricity god or whatever that he's worshiping and gave him this power, because they like spoke to him, this giant pair of lips, like this huge mouth, like just appeared out of nowhere and was like, I don't know, here's your like it was like floating in the air this big, and it looked like snow. What do you call that? Like static snow, like on a television. And they were like hovering above him, and they're like, here's your power. I can't remember what they said. But there were a lot of like funny one-liners in this movie. Not a lot of them are coming to me right now, but that was interesting. But yeah, the movie actually has quite a bit of humor to it, but Peter Berg plays it so serious. Like he is playing this movie as if it is like it was such sincerity through and through, and everything else and a lot of the lines and things like that are a little bit silly, and some of the things that happen, especially at the end, there's this wild montage that happens. It is incredible, and I was just like, what the heck is going on? This movie is so wild, but extremely entertaining. But yeah, there was like this montage, and it just felt like out of place, but still super fun and enjoyable. But it was just odd because Peter Berg was a part of it, and he'd been playing this entire movie as serious as a heart attack, and then like people's like love and heart are glowing, and like Care Bear style to help defeat him, and like he's scared of like a heart shaped necklace, and I don't know. It was so wild. It was so strange. I would have loved for this franchise to go on, though. The movie, I think, did feel a little long, actually, even though I was entertained and having fun throughout it. It did kind of feel like it was a long movie. Good fight scenes in it, really fun fight scenes. Some of the deaths I think were also pretty good. I'm having trouble remembering any of them specifically, but there was a lot of cool fights and things like that. And you see the aftermath of a lot of deaths also. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. I would have watched more. I wish there was more. And then Mitch Pileggi, I mean, he probably wouldn't have gotten X-Files if this really would have taken off. But had it taken off and he got to do X-Files, it would have been cool to see this continued. And maybe he'll do one more. Who knows? Wouldn't that be fun if they made if they made a shocker sequel all these years later? I think that would be great. Maybe they can do that in 29 or something. But just to create a nice little anniversary sequel. So yeah, shocker. I'm curious, have you seen it? Have you seen this Wes Craven film that's extremely sentimental, funny, and serious all at the same time? Supernatural. Man, there's so much going on in this. It is a wild ride. But yeah, I want to know what you think of it. I'm also curious, what kind of movies are you watching during your Halloween countdown? We're getting closer and closer. I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below, and perhaps we'll see you tomorrow for more Pure Hangout.